Yes, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Welcome back to Football Heritage TV on what is a very dark, gloomy South London. Normally, I'll have one of these open, but the opposite one, and you can see some light coming in. This is fully open. There's no light. Look, there's no light. It is, look, let me show you. It is absolutely minging out there. Absolutely minging, which is a lovely South London word. How are we all? I hope everybody is doing absolutely fine and dandy. Just to let you know, today's activity, we'll have this morning show, and then I've got a members only show at 3 p.m. today. It's a chance where just my members get to jump on. They can well, I say they can jump on. That's the aim of the show, is we don't do it so that they have to watch and listen to me for an hour and a half. They'll get the chance to jump on, and then they can all just chat and argue amongst themselves. Maybe we get Perchy in with one of his bad football opinions. If he's watching, big up to Perchy. Awful football manager player. Terrible opinions, but he is always welcome on the members only show. So good morning, good afternoon to each and every single one of you. We don't play today, but we do play tomorrow, don't we? Manchester United at home in the early kickoff, which is lovely. For anyone who goes out on a Friday night, you wake up, you're feeling a bit fuzzy, and then you've got to deal with Tottenham Hotspur. And are they going to ruin your day or not? I think we might get the win tomorrow. I think we might get the win, but we'll talk about it a little bit later. So first and foremost, thank you to my sponsors, Match Bingo. Lots of people have been playing Match Bingo lately and said that they've been having a bit of fun with that. So if anyone does want to join Match Bingo, just scan the QR code, and whatever money you put in, they'll give you 100% on top of that. What that means, if you put in a tenner, they'll put in another tenner on top of that, and you'll have £20 to play with. And I won for the first time a few weeks ago, so it was really good. It is what it is, right? It is what it is. Also, if anyone would like to buy me a coffee, you don't have to, but the link is there, and that's all I'll say about it. There it is. Buy me a coffee. Essentially, they are super chats. I won't hide behind it. I won't try and fluff it up in any other way. Essentially, what it means is more of that money goes to me than to YouTube. Anyway, let's start with some lovely news, shall we? I've just seen this in my chat section. First of all, Aussie Frank Lover, you did not need to pay me to read out something like this, my man. You know this. Thank you very much. But listen, let's put the money to one side for a second. I just want to say what a lovely message to jump onto the show with. It said, big up Savva, after a 7-month battle with stage 4 cancer and 4 times in ICU, today we found out my wife is cancer-free and in remission through this rough time. You and your channel has helped me deal with it. Thank you, mate. Well, listen, forget me. I didn't do anything. What wonderful news. Please give my best to your wife. That is cracking news. That is one hell of a battle that she's gone through, and to be given the all clear is absolutely superb. So I'm really, really happy for you. I'm sure right now, if I look at my comment section, I'm sure everybody is probably saying the same thing. So bang on to you. Listen, let's be fair, right? You think of all the things people fall out about and argue about, like which footballer should play right wing, which manager should be sacked. These are the important things, right? These things right here are important. It doesn't matter if Spurs lose tomorrow. In the grand scheme of things, what does it matter when somebody's recovered from cancer? It doesn't mean anything. It really doesn't, does it at all? So big up to you, Aussie Frank Lover. You didn't need to put that money in, mate. You really didn't. And look, just so happy for you and your wife. And listen, hopefully you've got many, many years together moving forward. So back on to you, seeing lots of nice messages in the chat. Big up Ian saying his wife's 5 years cleared. Big up, love it. Let's get some good news going this morning, shall we? It's too much doom and gloom like this bloody London weather. And honestly, It is dark. The clouds over my house at the moment, not just my house, by the way, I would say my whole area. It looks like it's about to completely open up the heavens. It looks absolutely disgusting out there. But it's not disgusting at Tottenham Hotspur. Tottenham are doing well. We are sitting 6th in the Premier League. We are, did I see we dropped? I think we dropped down in the Champions League table, didn't we? Which was inevitable. Let me just quickly check that. Where are we? The Champions League table. I think we dropped down to we're 10th, 1 point outside the automatic places. So it's good. It's not a disaster at all for Tottenham at the moment. I know many people will have you listening, thinking that you're listening to a Wolverhampton Wanderers podcast. Nothing against Wolves, but obviously down there in bottom of the table, can't seem to get a manager. Being, I think Gary O'Neill turned it down, right? And then Rob Edwards, they weren't allowed to speak to him. And when I listen to a lot of these shows, I feel like a lot of people are really forcing issues that aren't there, like really forcing issues. I watched the show last night. We're talking about what conundrum, what formation do Spurs play? What's gone on? What's the problem? What has actually happened? What has actually happened for there to need to be these crisis meetings and these dramatic conversations? We've almost, haven't we, as a YouTube community, we've got to that stage where, because there's not really any bad news, we're starting to drum up. Oh my God, Spence and Van der Ven. Oh, naughty boys. Didn't they ignore Thomas Frank? It's the worst thing in the world. Then Mickey Van der Ven goes and does what he does on Tuesday night. And oh my God, it's all forgotten. So it is what it is. You know, it is what it is. Mr. Whopper, please do not bring up that. I know that you are, I know that you're trolling, so please leave that there. I'll give you that one free. Please leave that there. So, it's a difficult one, right? And what I've noticed is, listen, I've not streamed. I think I've one stream in the last 2 days, because what I don't want to do is with you guys is I don't want to just give fake news. I don't want to give this fake bullshit transfer news. I don't want to give this fake that we're in a crisis news. I think that everything is absolutely fine. I think everything is where you would probably expect it to be. Where you would expect it to be with a new manager after, what have we played? 11? Is it 11 league games? I mean, we've played 4 Champions League games. I can't remember. Let me have a look. Yeah, 10 league games. 10 league games. 10 league games and 4 Champions League games. And I honestly, I find it baffling, guys. Just watching all these shows talking about we must change formation. I don't know why. I genuinely don't know what's happened. Suddenly now everyone thinks we have to go to 3 at the back every single show, every single game. I'm not sure what happened to make this so bad. What happened to allowing a manager to have a bit of time to work on his favoured formation with the players and build and grow? We just don't want it, do we? Just don't want it. Zero patience. Zero patience. So I'm happy. For one, I'm happy. I've seen some good videos the last couple of weeks. Seen some good videos that I really, really agree with people saying, hey, there's no problem. It's cool. It's calm. And then I'm just seeing loads of debates and stuff where people are going mad over nothing. But look, it is what it is. My wife's favorite saying of mine. She hates it. She absolutely hates it. And the big up Ed, absolutely, man. The system is more important than formation. Yeah, I think too many people put relevance on where the players start positionally wise. For me, I've always said this, it's about the caliber of the footballer. It's about the caliber of the footballer. So I think, I'll say this again, I think Spurs can move to a back 3 when we need to. I don't think we need to, like people are saying that should be our main formation. I don't know why we'd need to play 3 centre halves and 2 centre mids in every game. We don't need to. We've got, yes, we've got positions that we need to upskill in, namely the ball playing 8, the left winger, a striker maybe, depending on what happens with Randall Colomwani. But in theory, there isn't really anything wrong. So we'll see what happens. By the way, just a quick one. If any of you have seen the link that I've got pinned, the link that I've got pinned is for Tottenham away. Obviously, had the problems keeping their old channel, so they've started a new channel called Spurs Corner. So there it is, Spurs Corner. So Tottenham away. So this is Stel, Iggy, JP, and the boys. They've started a new channel called Spurs Corner, and they need to build and grow the subs. So what I'd ask nicely is, I've pinned it, but I'm going to put it in the chat again now. If you guys could get over to those lads, and I don't think they're aiming to take over the world. I think they're just going to do a couple of shows a week like they used to. So Spurs Corner. Oh, 1 second. Brian Daigle. Okay, Brian Daigle. Let me send you the link if you'd like to come on for a little bit this morning. Brian Daigle, of all people. I must have done something right for royalty like Brian Daigle to want to come on. There we go. Just sent Mr. Daigle the link. So yeah, please get over to those guys. Look, let's, at the moment, I mean, I think they only opened it yesterday. They got 160 subs. Let's get that up. Come on, you guys all like JP and Iggy and Stel and those lads. So please get over to that link, smash the button. Let's get them going up towards that first 1,000 urgently. And I'll put that in a little bit later. Philly said the only cross I see is when Brennan Johnson tell on the pigeon. Look, it's an interesting one, right? I feel like there's a place for Brennan Johnson, but it's very few and far between. Whereas I do agree with you on the other two. I don't think Tell's anywhere near a Spurs player. And Richarlison, I do think we're seeing the end of his Spurs career this season. Really good goal the other night from Johnson, though. We can't knock that. Really nice touch. And it is what it is. Tim Emma said, any thoughts on the Spurs 5 opinion last night? They all won a back 3-5. Just wondering, as you know, those guys. Yeah. As I said, I listen, each to their own. I think there's a place for a back 3, back 5. I don't think it needs to be every game. So I'm all for tinkering to it. For example, when we play PSG away, that sort of game, I'm not against playing a back 5. I don't want to, in home games, really go to wing backs. I'm not saying it's negative. I think there are ways you can play with a back 3 where you can be attacking, but I don't think, for me, that I don't see that. I'm not like everyone. I don't see the problem. Like when everyone's going, we must go to a back 3. Look how good we've been defensively. I don't know why we need to change the shape, really. What we need is some time. I think we need some time. And time is everything in life, right? Time is everything in life. You don't build after 3 months. Or sorry, you start building after 3 months, but it takes time. So for me, I don't see the need to go to it unless we really, really are playing top opposition. I'll ask you this. At home to Copenhagen, would any of you have really wanted to see 3 centre halves? Like, I don't know. I think everyone's trying to be a little bit too tactically. I don't know. It's like everyone thinks this is Football Manager. I don't know. Not for me. Not for me. I think play it when you need to. Now, lots of people go, oh, well, look how good we were. Look how good we were against PSG when we played it in the Super Cup. Now, yeah, we were very good, but we weren't the attacking team that people think that system will give us. So I don't mind it. I don't know why this has suddenly become a massive talking point, if I'm brutally honest. There are games for it where it will work. There are games for it where it won't. But I don't understand this need. I'm seeing people say as well, they want us to constantly change tactics week in, week out. And that's what a coach does. Well, a coach tinkers. A coach adapts and tinkers and changes. A coach isn't there to go, right, this week it's 4-3-3. Next week it's 4-2-3. Next 4-2-3-1. Next week it's wing backs. I don't feel that we need to do that. But unlike many others, as I said, I'm not in this drama zone at the moment. I'm not in this mode of there are issues. I think everyone wants it to be perfect way too soon. And it's almost creating talking points for the sake of creating talking points for me. It's, yeah, not, I don't see the issue. Rain, I said, Savva, I do wonder if we're in an era where the majority of people, e.g. under 40s, think coaching is like Football Manager or FIFA. Yeah, I would go along with that. I've seen what I've seen in the first 4 months of Thomas Frank's reign is a lot of people who throw the word coach, but don't seem to understand what it means. So what they say is, he's a coach. Why isn't that player better? Well, coaching a player to be better than they are doesn't occur over a few games, right? That occurs over a season, 2 seasons. That also depends on the player and that player's mentality and personality, their threshold for getting better. If, and this is what somebody who is a qualified coach working at a Premier League football club said to me the other day, said, if it was only about coaching, if that was the only factor, then why would clubs buy players? You'd never need to buy players. If every player could be coached to be what fans want them to be, then why would you buy footballers? What a coach is there to do, more than anything, give some shape to the team, give structure, work on the set pieces, work on the defensive shape, work on the relationship between the defense and the midfield and attack. And in the most part, that's what Thomas Frank's come in and done as a coach early on. So again, there's a lot of people's misunderstanding of what the word coaching means versus what they think it means. So loads of people go, oh, I thought he was a coach. Sorry, have you not seen how our back four's performing? Do you not think that's a result of coaching on the training ground? Have you not seen how good our set pieces are? Right? That is the result of coaching with Thomas Frank and Cochrane and the staff, right? That is what they do. Coaching isn't, oh, I don't rate Tell. Why hasn't Frank made him better in 8, 9, 10 games? That's not what coaching is. It can take a very, very long time. But you're right. Rain, who put that comment in, too many people think it's Football Manager. Too many people think it's Football Manager. It is what it is. But as I said, for me, I don't see the drama. I don't see the issue. I don't really want to go to a back three. I don't want to go to a back three unless you need to. I don't see why. I don't want to remove Kudus from out wide. We've been craving for wide men that can beat a man and take somebody on. I don't want to get that. And then the first thing we do is move him centrally. I don't want to do that. I want to get my best winger out wide. Because if you move Kudus centrally, straight away, the left back of the opposition goes, don't they? The left back goes, oh, thank God. Oh, thank the footballing gods. I've got an easier day today. Where are we? Oh, hang on. What's going on here? What's going on there? There we go. Thank you so far. I think about 30 of you, 25 of you have subscribed to Spurs Corner. Keep subscribing, guys. There's 200 odd of you in here. Their first show back, I believe, is Wednesday night at 8 p.m. So please get over there and support them. Daniel, I think this is the problem. Exactly. I've always said, for me, we could talk about different formations. Yeah. And that's great. For me, this is more about in-game, how the players and managers adapt. And that's not always formation. It could be, do we stop playing out the back and we go a little bit more direct because we realize we're under pressure? Is the press working? Right. Maybe we started pressing. It's not working. Maybe we drop off a little bit and do something different. So I do agree with you. I don't think throughout the test of time, has football need to be reinvented? I mean, when you are a coach like Pep Guardiola, for example, he reinvented his wheel, so to speak. But then you could say, well, Cruyff reinvented it, and this person reinvented it, and that person. At the end of the day, it's always going to come down to how you defend, how you keep the ball, and how you attack. It's not rocket science. Exactly. And this, I think this is it. We've asked for a coach. We've got one. And then we want to tell the coach that after 14, 15, 16 games, I think he's had. After 16 games, you must change. You must do it. Let him do what he needs to do. Yeah, he's not done bad, has he? Let's be brutally honest. I saw the other day that of the 16 games we've played, Perchy did send this to me and I've lost it. Of the 16 games we've played, we've got 8 clean sheets. So we've got a 50% clean sheet record. But there's no coaching that's gone on. That just happened, right? It's mental. We've conceded, I don't believe we've conceded 3 goals in any game. If I'm not wrong, somebody might tell me I'm wrong there. I don't think we've conceded 3 goals in any game. We've not conceded 4 goals in any game. So you can see clearly where we started to work, what we've started to develop first and foremost. And you can see the improvements that are being made. But for some reason, that's not enough, and we now need to change to a 3 at the back. I don't get it. I don't get it at all. Just keep doing what we're doing. Give the manager time. And as I've said, this year, is there really any drama this year? Is there really any drama this year? If Spurs finish 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th, there's no drama. You've got a coach, let him build, let him grow. You go again in the summer. You get better next year. I don't know. I don't know. But listen, look who we've got. Oh, look who we've got. And what a lovely t-shirt that is, Brian. How are you?
I'm good, brother. I'm good. How are you? I said, listen, I've promised the last couple of times that I'll try and get on the Spurs review, but I haven't been able to. So I saw you today and I was like, do you know what? It's been too long. Let me come spend some time with Savs.
There we go. Lovely. Well, here he is after 95 weeks in a row of rejecting the Spurs review.
95.
95. I don't even know how many. What's that? Just under 2 years, isn't it? Mate, how are you? You good? Are you well?
Yeah, I'm good. I'm good. Still waiting to hear back from my dentist procedure, so I may be here a little bit longer. But apart from that, seeing my nephew, seeing my niece, being with family and seeing friends is always good. But missing my wife in Toronto dreadfully. But we got Thomas Frank and Tottenham, and it's good times.
Well, you haven't got your wife, but you have got Thomas Frank. I mean, make of that what you will, Brian. Make of that what you will. Mate, it's interesting, isn't it? Because I guess this will be what many call an echo chamber, because you and I did very much want Thomas Frank, right? We were both big fans of the work he's done. I think we were both mature enough not to go, oh, but he's never won anything. When I look around, this isn't just YouTube, by the way, and this is when I get sent things from X and Instagram and Facebook and
X is a cesspit.
Right? But YouTube is part of this as well. Some of the things I'm reading and seeing, you would think, Brian, that we are bottom of the Premier League table, that we're shipping goals for fun, can't score, and that we're bottom of the Champions League group. Are we all just being a little bit kind of needy children right now?
What got to me after Tuesday, Copenhagen, after the Chelsea performance, everyone said, we best see a different style of football against Copenhagen. We best play attacking football. We best have a great performance and show that we can attack. And then we do it, but it's only Copenhagen.
Yeah.
But when we draw to Bodo, who we should have beaten, it was a really poor performance. You and me can agree to that. It was a poor performance. Yep. No creativity whatsoever. Everything was wrong. Everything was wrong. It's only Bodo. We should have beaten them. And then when they get everything that they ask for, as in, and I mean the doubters and people that are the brand of football that Frank is trying to implement at the moment, when he does it, it's only because we beat this team. There's always something. It just frustrated me.
Well, Brian, have you noticed when we beat Man City, it was but we always beat them, so it's only City, right?
Yep.
We beat West Ham away, who we have not beaten away for 7 years. If I'm right, it was Jose's first game. We beat Leeds away, who hadn't lost there in 14 months, but it's only Leeds, right?
Yep.
We beat Everton away. We never really win at Everton away, but it's only Everton, right?
Yep.
I'm a bit confused. Are we at the stage where, rather than people actually wanting Spurs to be good and enjoying it, we're at the stage where people's pride and ego about the manager that they didn't want is more important to them than going, yeah, we're actually doing well?
Yeah, I mean, I'll add a couple of things to the Leeds game. You've got to remember, on the Leeds game, going into it, it was, oh my God, we're really bad at the 12:30 kickoffs. We never win the 12:30 kickoffs. And it's a game before an international break, and we never win them. And then we win that. We right those two wrongs. And then it's like you said, it's only Leeds. Leeds away, raucous crowd. Like I said, we've had bad records against Everton. Has been since the Poch 6-2.
Wow.
That was the last win at Everton. Then you look at Jose Mourinho's first game for West Ham, and it was also our biggest win away at West Ham since 1967.
Yeah.
So another thing, but it's terrible to go get 3 points against one of your biggest rivals, keep a clean sheet, and score 3 goals. Oh, but the red card changed it. Well, did we go 10 men against Copenhagen?
Yeah,
and then we absolutely.
Brighton away. We're like Brighton away.
Should have won, in all honesty.
Yeah. We should have won. It was a good performance, but we don't normally win at the Amex. Like, no. I feel like everything good the manager has done is just being overlooked. So if we don't beat Man United tomorrow, you could see it. It's going to be utter meltdown, right? It's going to be, and Dan is right. Dan Harris is right. It will be, but we beat them 4 times last season. But right now, Brian, we're sitting 6th in the Premier League, which is roughly where I think we should be anyway as a football team, 6th, 7th, 8th.
Yep.
We're sitting 10th out of 32 Champions League teams, 36. I don't know what
unbeaten.
It is. 32 unbeaten, right? We have got a 50% clean sheet ratio out of 16 games. No team has scored more than 2 goals against us, right? I genuinely don't know I don't know if it's because I like Thomas Frank and maybe I'm being too much the other way, but what is the drama? What is this meltdown, Brian, that we need to change formation and this doesn't work and he's got to adapt? What's actually gone on that's so bad?
What I will say with the formation, and I said this, Savva, I'll see what your fans saying. I know you've spoken about Paulinho and Bentancur, especially highlighting it after the Villa game.
Yeah.
I think the major key to Tottenham, and I don't mean for creativity, I mean for Spurs to play the style of football Frank wants to play, is Destiny Udogie.
Agreed.
It's Destiny Udogie. And the reason for that is we could see the balance that he adds on the left. Just being a natural left footer. Forget what he's doing and whatever. But I looked into it deeper, and you look at it, I have a feeling at home, this is just my observation, you guys in the chat, and you can obviously respond. We saw Bentancur put in a brilliant performance on Tuesday. Brilliant on Tuesday. And there's no reason he can't do that with Paulinho there. But the reason I'm thinking it may be happening is with Jed Spence having to always come in and then cut in. When he cuts in, he's always going backwards and sideways, which is allowing all the other team to get back into position. So no one's free. They can't get the ball to Xavi. So if we start with Destiny tomorrow and Bentancur and Paulinho, I think Paulinho and Bentancur have a much better game with Destiny there than they would with Spence. That's not bad on Spence. I think it's come to the point where we need to get another left-sided left back and let Porro and Spence, like we had with Rose and Trippier, Rose and Davies and Trippier and
let Spence be the backup right back. And
not even backup, mate. Rotate. There's certain games where defensive work or the offensive, Spence may be better, maybe coming up against a man mountain or something, and Spence is a bit more equipped.
Do you know what, Brian? But this is the thing, right? Like, so I see people saying a lot of things like we move out the back too quickly, or we don't pass forward quickly enough. People thought, yeah, but we're only like 10 Premier League games into the manager with his team. Yeah. These are things that adapt and we develop over time. And I always use these two by way of example, Brian, purely because these are the two names that are always thrown at me. Should have got Glasner, should have got Iriola. Now, don't get me wrong, Mr. Daigle, the legend that is. Don't get me wrong. If Spurs had ended up with Glasner or Iriola, I would have been very happy. Two very good managers. But their teams, the way that Palace and Bournemouth play now, isn't the way they played when they first turned up. It took time for them to develop and build this. So why is it that Spurs fans can't seem to wait for any time? So, for example, when I'm seeing people say, go to a back three, we've got to change this. Can we not give the manager a little bit of time to develop his favourite formation first? Can we not give him a bit of time to build and adapt and grow?
Well, Joe, I said after the Chelsea game, I think we need to go to a back three, but that was just because how poor we were against Chelsea. Sure. But you look at it, even if he wants to go to a back three right now, I don't think he can risk it because we've only got three fit centre backs in Danso, VDV, and Romero. Yep. If one of them clock up, then we're screwed. I think
you've now got 16-year-olds.
Exactly. Yeah. Or you got Davies if he's back from it. I mean, or you have to bring Paulinho back, which isn't always what you want to do. So I reckon when Radu Dragushin, big up Barrick, I think when Dragushin comes back, and he will be better suited to a Thomas Frank style of defence than he ever was an Ange-Postecoglou defence for the style of defender he is, then it gives Thomas Frank the versatility to go, do you know what, maybe. And he could even play a back three of Dragushin, Danso, and rest one of Romero and Van der Ven in certain games if need be and have him on the bench. I don't think I wouldn't mind seeing him as a back three at times. I really wouldn't at certain times if he feels it, but he can't do it with three fit centre-backs with this fixture list coming up. He can't risk it, can he?
No, of course he can't. I just find it crazy how we're in this era now where football managers, they join in. I mean, let's be fair, he joined in June. He's got, July and a bit of August with the team, and then bang, you're into a new season. And people have seen us lose 3 out of 16, if I'm not wrong. I think we've lost 3 in 16, right? Which is Villa, Bournemouth, Chelsea, right? Oh, and then the Newcastle game, right? We've lost 4 in 16, right? And people going, this manager can't sort it out. We knew Brentford was his level. We knew those tactics work there, not here. I would love these people, Brian, to go and do a little bit of homework as to what happened when Thomas Frank took over at Brentford, right?
Yep.
For all these people that have got the imagination of a peanut that go, but he's never won anything, look what he achieved at Brentford. Actually look what he achieved at Brentford. They shouldn't be where they are now. They weren't meant to come up. They weren't meant to stay up.
Exactly, and I hate it when they say he's that level. I mean, if you want to go back and you go look at Jurgen Klopp and other super managers, not saying that Frank's going to be a super manager, as in that level. He started off in the German second division, and then he went to Borussia Dortmund. And go find a Borussia Dortmund fan that will have a bad word to say about Klopp's tenure at Borussia Dortmund, but coming from a second division team. Poch came from Espanyol and then Southampton, and no one was saying he's only Southampton level at this time when he was on the verge of collapse before Harry Kane scored that free kick against Aston Villa. Managers get found. Not all managers start off have it given to them like Arteta down the road. First job, very, very nice job to have. Or Pep Pepper, here you go, have Barcelona. He's got to build his team. And when they say he's only Brentford's level, I just hope and pray to God we win something like the FA Cup. I just hope, because the non-trophies is just ridiculous.
Do you know what? For me, though, I just think it is just crazy. The fan base asks for a coach, you get one, and then no one wants to actually allow the time to coach. This is what frustrates me. Listen, we all want to win trophies. Of course we do. But when, like, I've seen people doing shows like, how far can Thomas Frank take Spurs? You know, well, hang on, sorry. Are we Man City? Are we Liverpool? What's the aim of Thomas Frank's tenure? Because if anyone's going to sit here and turn around and say it's to win a league title, well, that's not going to be down to Frank. That's going to be down to the board. That's going to be down to ambition shown. So I feel like our fan base, first of all, I think that we've got very short memories to last season. And second of all, I just think everyone needs to stop reinventing this wheel and let the manager do his thing. I'm seeing the same people who hated Ange's style of play now giving Thomas Frank a hard time when he's only had them for 10 Premier League games. I just don't. I'll be honest, Brian, it's kind of made me take it. You probably noticed I'm doing less and less on YouTube because I'm just finding the whole thing really. I've watched shows over the last 48, 72 hours where I'm watching the show thinking, are we bottom of the league? I just don't get it.
Yeah, listen, I don't know what it is. Obviously, they want a lot of, and I'm not saying your loyal fans here or the people that watch us or any other channels, the loyal one. There's people that want to come in and just cause the drama and just try and bring in drama. Do you know what? It's why I do, when we do Tottenham on tour or these shows, where I come on these shows where we can have a decent conversation. No one going over the top and interrupting each other. No shouting, no screaming. Just a conversation. And if people disagree in the chat, that's fine.
Of course.
It's fine. But there's the disagreeing, like going, yeah, I think you're wrong, Savva, blah, blah, blah. Or there's, you're an effing idiot. My God, you're dumb. What? And all the crap that comes with it. This fan base, you can sort of, look.
Brian, I'm seeing posts and shows are titled, "This is a must-win game for Frank. Frank has to win." And you're like, or I'll ask this question. Or what? Like, don't get me wrong. I think Spurs will win tomorrow. But Brian, hypothetical, fast forward, what would it be? 26 hours from now, 27 hours from now. Spurs have drawn or lost at home to Man United. People are saying it's a must-win game. Or why? What happens? He ain't getting sacked. What's this constant need from fans for every single game to be a win? We're not that club. We're not that club.
The whole point of this right now, with getting someone like him, if it had been a Glasner or Iriola, was build something. And Thomas Frank, who has got the job, thankfully, or whoever had come in, look at the massive changes that have happened within the football club. From the moment Donna Cullen left, and then obviously with the complete change of Levy being removed. And look, since Levy's gone, all the things that ENIC have done, all the things, and this is me speaking, I think ENIC have done all the right things. I think they have done absolutely everything right so far. And what I mean by that is they've obviously, I love the guy that they've brought in to be, that in between with Paratici and Lang, the medical guy who's got very, very good knowledge of the medical system, worked within British rugby, the tennis, cricket, and is coming to us. The first thing everyone goes, oh, he's from the City Group, he must be crap like Munn. It's like, no, Munn was for the business. This is for the football.
Yeah. They
brought Paratici back, which was another positive side. Now we'll see if Paratici will be allowed to buy certain types of player or was restrained by a budget of some sort, whatever. People were saying they won't invest anything. They slapped down 100 million. And the most important part of that was they said the word initial investment. And people like £100 million doesn't even scratch the surface. It's like, well, transfers, like you've said multiple times, Savva, they're done in installments.
Yeah.
So 100 million, whether it's going towards hotel and some to the transfers, do we get more revenue? And then you look at what's going on, and I can't remember seeing one promotion for a concert, a boxing match, an event. It's been right. We're doing this for the football. We're doing this for the football. We're doing this for the football. So we will see in January. But whoever was in charge has had to deal with a change of guard that we've had to deal with for 25 years. Mm-hmm. It's not good. Like you said, we're not Manchester City. We're not Liverpool. We're not going to drop down hundreds of millions. But Thomas Frank, you saw, put it this way, you saw on Tuesday, I'm sure he sat down with the lad and said, right, listen, Chelsea was totally unacceptable. This game, let's go out and show them an attack. And maybe Frank had been a bit more reserved to say, can this team do it? Can they do it the way I want them to do it? Mm-hmm. And play that kind of attacking football with the handbrake off and get players like Xavi. And I think he saw that he resoundingly could. Yes, it was Copenhagen, as everyone will say. But I'm not bothered about the team. It was the proof that Spurs, amongst the 11 that played, can get that ball forward, can move quickly, can show power, can show strength, can be cutthroat. And I think it was a huge step forward, that performance. I think Thomas Frank has taken so much from that performance that this could be a massive turning point for us in the style of football and performance.
Agreed. And do you know the thing is as well is
I can still hear you.
I think one of the key things for me as well is, we haven't even seen, this manager hasn't even had a lot of his players to play with so far. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. Like let's use Mawani, for example, to a lesser extent. Mawani, he hasn't had for a full 90 minutes yet, right? He hasn't been fit. Now we're starting, like I thought the last couple of games, we started to see, okay, Mawani can play. He is a good player. All right, he missed a couple of sitters, but that's fine. That will come. He hasn't had Maddison once. He hasn't had Kulu once. He hasn't. I mean, I think he's had Solanke for about 15 minutes out of the 16 games, right? I think once you start seeing that, then you see the options at the back. Get Radu Dragusin back, right? Get Takai. I mean, we don't know about Takai. Get Takai back, right? Now we will see, okay, I can go to a back three if I need to for the last half an hour or for this away game or whatever. But what we've seen Thomas Frank have to deliver what he's delivering with not a lot of options. And that for me is what's more important for me. And this is why when people say to me, yeah, but Savva, Ange had injuries. I'm like, yeah, but the difference is Ange didn't adapt with the injuries. That was my problem. This manager's adapted. This manager's gone, okay, I don't have a lot to work with. So you know what? Be hard to beat. Be hard to beat. Right? Now, for me, I do like Thomas Frank. And people say, oh, you defend him too much. You die on that hill. For me, Brian, I don't think there's anything to defend him against. Nothing has happened. Nothing. Nothing's happened. We've not lost 5 games. Liverpool lost, 6 in 7? Yep. Liverpool lost 6 in 7 games, right? Yep. We lose 1 to Chelsea and everyone goes, oh, I don't know. This is the worst I've ever seen. I'm happy. I'm a happy fan right now, Brian. I'm happy.
Exactly. I listen, I'm delighted. I've even changed my Twitter bio to say leave, blah, 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 Levy out. I've changed it to Thomas Frank's first line of defence. I will defend him at all costs. I really will. But what people don't hear is when people like yourself and myself, when we have lost a game, we have been critical. We have said that performance wasn't good enough. That performance can't be accepted in any way. And I do just what Thomas Frank does now. Thomas Frank says after a game, win, lose or draw, you've got 24 hours to celebrate, or 24 hours to look back in anger and evaluate and blah blah blah, and then it's on to the next game. That's it. That's what I'm doing. We need to do.
Fans used to be. Isn't that what football? Yeah. Football fans used to be that. Now it's from game to game. It's famine or feast, which I believe was the old. Didn't Kuva used to say that quite a lot? Was it Kuva?
I think he did. God bless Kuva.
Like,
God bless,
famine, it's like people calling for consistency in performances. That takes time. That takes time for consistency in performances. Look at Man City. Man City have lost, if I'm not wrong, haven't Man City lost the same amount of Premier League games as us this season?
Yes.
How long they had their manager? How many
7, 8
players
years now?
How many world-class players or top players have Man City got? It takes time.
100. Yeah.
My point is, I can see the people that understand football and those that don't. And I don't mean to be condescending like that, but if you went into Tottenham Hotspur's training ground right now and you spoke to the coaches, the manager, the players, I think they'd all pretty much go, yeah, there's a lot of work being done here. We're moving in the right direction. But it's the fans that go, oh, I didn't like what I saw. Oh, and for one game, we had a 0.05 XG. Oh, fuck off with your XG. Fuck off. Look how many games we lost last year where our XG was probably 4 or 5. I don't even know what a good XG is, right? We still lost it. It's just mental. It's mental.
You're like me, Savva. I never, ever listen to XG. I think, listen, I don't know where and why this stat has come out. It's got so scientific and so broken down. I can't stand XG. Obviously, if I'm on a watch along or people bring it up, then I have to talk about it. But you'll never hear me on any show bring up XG because I think it's an absolute nonsense. In all honesty,
right? We could be at 0.05, whatever it was, XG. And in the last minute, a corner comes in, someone headers it home, you get the draw, and your XG is still shit. What does it like? When I was growing up, this wasn't a thing. This wasn't a thing. I'm more worried about, was it a shit performance? Yes. Right? I don't think
100%.
anybody can turn around and say it wasn't. It was a shit performance. I'm more worried about, what does my manager do to react to that? Does my manager go, that wasn't acceptable. We need to do X, Y, and Z. Let's move forward. Right?
Yeah.
But all of this, the worst performance I've ever seen at White Hart Lane. I can tell you, Brian, I've been watching Tottenham for, like you have, decades. Yeah. I've seen some absolute horror shows at White Hart Lane, and that were worse than what we saw against Chelsea. I'm sorry, worse.
That may have been the worst at the new stadium, performance-wise and style of play. But do you know what? True. Depends where you gauge it.
Players, right?
That's true. But do you know what it is as well? Is when you look at what's been going on and the XG, blah blah blah, may be poor. When they did that, what I will say is, when it comes to that Chelsea performance, yes, Thomas Frank takes a lot of responsibility. He picked the team, blah blah blah, 100%. But what blew my mind is there are a lot of players in that starting 11 that have been at Tottenham for a little while. They're not all in their brand new season. And if there's 2 games they know that you turn up at and shouldn't need this kind of motivation for the game and to be up for it and say, right, we got to be on it today, lads, will be the Filth and Chelsea. So whereas Thomas Frank takes a massive slice of blame, the players who all want to play in the Premier League because it's the best league and the toughest opponents, there's certain games in the calendar year or in the season where you should be like, right, boys, this is massive to the fans. This is massive to us. You don't play a shit game here. You don't let the club down. And you've got to look at it. Yeah, like they do it at all clubs, isn't it? Whenever you go to whatever team, and not just Tottenham, if you go to the Filth, if you go to Newcastle, if you go to Liverpool, if you go to Swansea even, one of the first things the new players learn about is, from now, you hate this team, that team. From now, you don't do this and that. This game, it's drummed into you. It is drummed into you. And that performance from the players was
like Granit Xhaka, that Newcastle is the game. That is the game. Yeah. All right, we can lose the game before against Wolves, but Newcastle, that derby, that's our game. That's what it means.
Exactly.
I get it. And you know what, though? What it used to be was you could turn around and go, fuck me, that was an awful performance. Let's move on. Now, don't get me wrong.
Yep.
If you're having awful performance after awful performance after awful, if Spurs lost 8 league games in a row, right? I mean, it's not going to happen. If we lost 8 league games in a row between now and Christmas, or however many games there are then, I get it, right? But the problem is now what's happening, especially online fans, is when Spurs lose, Frank becomes my manager or your manager because we wanted him in, right?
Yep.
When we lose a game, it's I never wanted this guy anyway. And I've never seen anything so... I'll call it out. You know I will, Brian. First of all, I think it's childish. Second of all, I think it's reactionary. And third of all, why is the first fault of any Spurs fan when we don't win to call out another Spurs fan? Like, why is the first fault, gutted, look at your mate Frank? My mate Frank is our manager, right? Yep. It's our manager, right? Now, if you don't want the manager, cool. But my first fault is like, who's a player you rate that I don't, Brian?
Oh God, we haven't done this recently. I love, and I mean love Kevin Danso. Is Kevin Danso someone you love, or you? Okay, all right. Then let's go.
I'm a Kevin Danso fan. I think he's perfect for any squad. Let's do a hypothetical. Let's say you loved Richarlison, right?
Okay.
And I completely don't want him at the club.
Yep.
If Richarlison has a nightmare, I don't go, your boy Richarlison.
Yeah.
No, my opinion is, this is what I expect from him. I don't want him here. But too many people now in the chat, it's your boy Frank, your boy this, you got cooked, it's just a bit weird. I find it weird, mate.
And a lot of it comes from the people that say certain seasons, give this manager time, don't turn on the manager, are the ones now turning on the manager. Look, I am honestly delighted with where the club is going and what we're doing. I'm delighted that we've got this manager in, whether I loved him or not, and had wanted him since before, Ange. I'm just happy we've got a coach that will develop players. And if you want to look at developing players and what he's capable of in a short time, just look at the difference in Van der Ven.
Oh, God, yeah.
You just take Van der Ven as a small sample size. Everyone said, he couldn't head a ball. He needs to work on his heading. Okay. Works on his heading. He's scoring headed goals. He's making headed clearances. Oh, is he only a pace merchant? And we're going to see that he's only a pace merchant and uses his on a high line. I think he's in the form of his life at Spurs. And most importantly, because he normally breaks down this time of year, when we can, good morning, Graham, buddy. Good morning, my good man. When we've had time to say, right, Van der Ven, game's done, or we've got another massive game coming up, you're coming off, we can't risk it. He's managing him and developing Van der Ven. And listen, Van der Ven is a great defender anyway, beforehand, and it was a great spot by Ange. I will give him credit there. And I also gave Ange and the medical team credit for when they changed his running style to try and solve this issue, which seems to have worked since he's been back. But the development in Van der Ven has been insane. Even Pedro Porro, defensive stats, number one, everything defensive-wise for fullbacks. He's developing players already, and this is just within the short time he's got. It's what he does.
Yeah, agreed. Look, let's look forward to the Man United game because, look, I don't know how I feel about playing half 12s. It's one of those. It either sets up the day nicely or you have more of the weekend for there to be a lot of drama. It's an interesting time to play Man United because this isn't the same Man United as last year. This isn't. No. Whichever way we look at it, they have revamped their forward line with £200 million worth of forwards. Mm-hmm. They are, I don't want to say they're in, I mean, to be fair, their last 6 games, they've won 4, drawn 1 and lost 1. They're level on points with us. same number of wins, same number of draws, same number of defeats, same number of goals scored, but they have conceded 8 more goals than us. What do you make of this Man United team? Is it a good time to play them, considering that they only play once a week? What do you make of it?
So first of all, the early games, as you were just saying, 12:13, you have more of the weekend. Imagine when I'm back home in Toronto and it's 7:30.
Oh, yeah. Oh,
yeah. Then honestly, those games, honestly, if we lose those games, it's not a good day for me. It's not a good day for my wife either. It's really not. It's like, what do you want to do? Yeah, fuck all. So it's exactly, you know, when you looked at the games, Man U against Brighton, when you've looked at these games, they are conceding. They are easily gettable. And that's why I really hope we play similar to what we did on Tuesday, because I think their defence is gettable. Mm-hmm. I've got more faith in our defence than I do their attack. Although Cunha always scares me, ex-Wolves, and I've seen him do it to us so much. Cunha is the one in that front line that scares me. Sesko's height will be given. Van der Ven will deal with that. And I think we've got enough about us. If we play like we do Tuesday, even if it was the same lineup as Tuesday, because there's rumours Kudus didn't train yesterday. I don't know if he will today or tomorrow. So I'm looking forward to that game. I think they are gettable, but Man U, like you said, the biggest thing to be concerned about is this is a different Man U to last season, where they were so poor. So poor. If you look at it, I think we beat Manchester United last season. Oh no, they only scored goals in the Carabao Cup against us, didn't they? The 2 league games and Europa League final didn't score a goal against us and weren't really a threat. I think in this game they pose a threat, but I think our defense, or not, I know I have faith in my defense. And Vicario, who is in scintillating form.
Yeah, he's doing well at the moment, isn't he? I mean,
really well.
Here's what I think the lineup will look like tomorrow. Now, this is again, this is injury dependent, right? This is injury dependent. Mm-hmm. Now it's interesting because Man United, we know their strength, right? Their forward 4 is their strength. If I'm gonna chuck Bruno Fernandes into that mix, that forward 4 is their strength. But you're right, they can be got at. They really can be got at. And I think that's where the likes of Xavi Simons, he needs to find those through passes like he was finding on Tuesday night. And I'll tell you what I was really happy about Tuesday. It was the first time I properly remember us starting a game with Xavi in the 10 and Mawani in the 9. Yeah. And you started to see when Simons got the ball, rather than looking sideways, Simons was looking, can I play a 1-2 with the forward? And that's what you don't get with your mate Richarlison. Just kidding. Off the back of our last one. Right? So for me, this is what I would go with. And I know there's a lot of talk about the central midfielders. For me, I think you've got to have Bentancur and Paulinho to win that midfield battle. I think that we will win it because their midfield 2 will more than likely be Casemiro and Bruno. And we know Bruno's a fantastic footballer, but we know he's not the guy for the fight and win the battle. So do you disagree with this team, or are you thinking something else? I don't. And I think, like I said, with Destiny being there, it means the Spurs team can attack quicker and more fluid down the left and down the right. And I will say, this is going to be an interesting conversation because I've had this conversation with Simeon after the watch along, and I hadn't really thought about it this way. But Simeon was like, do you know what? If you look at it, Newcastle, when we lost 2-0, obviously both goals were calamities and blah, blah, blah. But in that first half and in some periods of that second half, we actually played some really good attacking football. We just couldn't get Richarlison on the end of it. And then you looked at it, against Copenhagen. And again, the football with Destiny going and Xavi being there, Bentancur playing through the lines. Both times, Kudus weren't on the pitch.
Now, I'm not saying I love Kudus. I think he's our best forward or winger at the club, no doubt. No, there's no doubt. So don't get this twisted with what I'm saying here, because I love Kudus, and if he's fit, I want him to start. But has there been, when we've seen with Kudus, when he's been there and Xavi's not been really in the game, it's go to Kudus, or we're blunt, go to Kudus, and then he's double teamed. And so,
don't you think? Can you see my cursor moving?
Yep.
Yeah. Right. Okay. So, because I'm not on the StreamYard thing anymore. Have we seen this?
No, I don't think. Not for a long sample size. No.
Right. See, now I think once you see this guy gets better. Because at the moment, what he's been having to go into and work inside here with is a Bergvall and a Richarlison. I think if you get this free on the pitch more often than not, linking up, I think now you're seeing much better. Now Kudus is going to say, I can pass it quick up because I know I'm going to get it back. Yeah. I can give it to Xavi Simons because he will find me. I can give it to Kolo Muani because he'll hold it up and bring me back into the game. At the moment, you watch it. When he gets the ball into Richarlison, watch how frustrated Kudus looks because he knows it bounces off him and he don't. So I think when we get that free going, right? And I said this the other day, Brian. For me, I don't think Spurs are a million miles away from being a shoo-in for top 4, right?
Yep.
But by not being a million miles away, I'm talking about 3 very good signings that walk into this team. And that is here. Let's assume Muani doesn't sign. That is here. Let me just, I don't know, just for example, here, I don't know. I'd love to say Semenyo. I just don't think that will happen. And here, where I think we need, a Stiller or a Wharton. Let me just a Wharton, for example.
Mate, do you know what? As much as I hate him, not Wharton, I love Wharton. People will know how much you and me love Morgan Gibbs-White. It's shown how much he would have made an impact. But do you know what? I hated him because of his Chelsea links. But Conor Gallagher, we've heard all these rumours all the time. Conor Gallagher, and I think it's my Chelsea biased with him. I loved him at Crystal Palace. Gallagher, who I don't just said rate because of the Chelsea links, he is perfect for this. Perfect.
I agree. Gallagher is the link between the DM and the forward. Gallagher is box to box, got a good pass on him, breaks up play, scores some goals, always fit, likes tackling. And do you know what? The 2 years, Brian, before let's just put him in there for 1 second. The 2 years before he went to Spain, he was in the top 5 for every midfielder metric in the country. So headers won, tackles won, duels won, distance covered, goals scored, assists, dribbles with the ball, carries with the ball, progressive. He was in the top 5 for everything. But yet when you said to Spurs fans, nah, he's not better than what we've got. And I'm like, but he is. Like, all of the data shows you he is magnificent. You know what I mean? Just compared to what we've got. I've said all along, Brian, I want to really revamp the midfield selection. For me, this isn't about one midfielder coming in. I think what Spurs need to do is really, I've said it, I'd get Gray out on loan, right? Let him play because he's wasted. I'd get Gray out on loan. Basuma is going to go. Bentancur at some point will go, right? For me, what I'd do is get those guys out on permanence or on loan, whatever's happening, and I'd really go and bring in 2 to 3 really good midfielders that give you options. Get Gallagher, get Wharton, have Paulinho, have Bergvall, That's what I think we need if we really want to compete with the Arsenals, the Liverpools, and the Cities.
Yep, and you know what? Well, what we've got to look at as well, talking of players coming in January, I actually think the loan market is going to be better than the buying market because there's going to be a lot of players around the world that are on the fringes of their World Cup team that are like, right, I need regular first team football to try and force my way into my nation's World Cup team. So I reckon the loan market is going to be massive this January, more so than ever. I think we'll get one through the door as in a good buy that can come straight into the first team, and that's including additional to Paulinho. But the loan market is going to be huge this January. With this coming up, it's massive.
Gallagher on loan. Now, I don't know his situation, by the way. I don't know what's going on with him, whether Madrid would keep him or not. But that, for me, is the sort of signing in January. You go, right, you got 6 months. You got an England squad to make. Come and join us. Right, we're in the Champions League. We're doing it. But for me, that is the sort of caliber of footballer I want Tottenham to be bringing in. No offense, I don't want to see any more Sars, Greys, Bergvaus, Valises, Odebers. I want to see seasoned pros that have been there, seen it, and done it. That's what I want. That's why when we're looking at this team you've kind of set, the one I want isn't Dusan Vlahovic. The one I want is Ivan Toney. Yeah, absolutely. Ivan Toney has got, obviously, Thomas Frank knows him inside out. He knows Frank inside out. He will come straight into this team knowing this league inside out. Yeah. And obviously, I mean, before anyone puts it in the comments, obviously, we would need his team in Saudi Arabia to heavily subsidize his wages. There's no way we're paying. There's just no way in hell. But if Ivan Toney wants to get into this England World Cup squad, he's not going to do it in Saudi Arabia. And I reckon that one person he will pick up the phone to will be, do you know what? If I go to Tottenham because of Thomas Frank, I know I'm going to get game time. I know I'm going to get goals. I would love Ivan Toney. Imagine Spurs. Again, listen, I'm now going into silly football manager realms and hypothetical dreamlands, Brian. Imagine Spurs in January said, right, we can't buy anyone, but we're going to loan Lookman, Gallagher, and Toney. Right? Look how different that 11 looks. Balance, energy, goals, hold-up play, skill. Again, by the way, it doesn't have to be. I think people get so caught up in chats, don't they? It doesn't have to be Gallagher. Yep. We're just using him. Whoever we put in there, Brian, some people have found fault. Listen, this could be Gallagher. This could be whoever you want it to be. But when you look at this, right, look how much that transforms Spurs. Look how much that changes it. Look how much energy. If you suddenly had Gallagher and Lookman, two very energetic players with good legs, right, I just look at it and think we're not a million miles away, but we're enough away for it to be an issue. That makes sense. Yeah. Do you know what? If that was the window, or even two of them came in, that will be, without spending a penny apart from their wages, blah, 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 one of the most, if not the most successful January we've ever had in terms of real talent coming into the football club that could improve us drastically. I think it would be a sensational window for us. And you could add with that, those loans, and let's say Paulinho signs. Then imagine this, Brian. If that was your 11, right? Yep. Now your bench is Mawani, right? Your bench is Kulusevski. Your bench is Bentancur. Your bench is Maddison, Dancer. Now all of a sudden we're looking at the bench and going, hang on, if that front three isn't working, I can mix it up now. Now I can go and bring on Kulu and Mawani. Do you know what I mean? Yep. Like and this is where I think Spurs need to get to. This is why when I've talked about when I talk about the younger players and people get really upset when I talk about the younger players. This is the difference. It's all well and good talking about giving them time, letting them progress. But the bigger clubs, the reason they're the bigger clubs, the reason they're the better clubs is they don't do that. Those bigger clubs, Liverpool are going, oh, Isak's not playing well. I'll tell you what, Ekatike is going to come on. Florian Wirtz isn't playing well. Gakpo is going to come on. Gravenberch isn't playing well. All right, Curtis Jones is going to come. Right now, we're starting the younger players and going, well, there's nothing on the bench. Well, of course there isn't, because these young players should be bench at best. So I feel like we're in a good place, but we're about to see how much ambition is there. What is the risk appetite from ENIC now moving forward?
What exactly? And then you look at. I also think there's a guy called Jimmy. I couldn't read his surname or spell it right, but he's like, we need another left back, and I think that's pivotal as well. We need another left-sided left back, because if Destiny does get injured, there you go. That's the one. Sorry, I didn't know how to pronounce that. Was that Two Toes? Now I look
Jimmy
back at it. Was it Jimmy Two Toes?
Unless it's Two Toes, I think it's Two Toes.
Oh, it could be Two Toes, but I'm going to read it as Two Toes. I completely. If we need another natural left-sided left back, so if Destiny does go out, there is someone to come in. And my number one pick, not that we could get him in January, I don't think, is Anthony Robinson from Fulham. And then you've got real competition in both places.
I love.
And you've got real competition, and you've got real competition at right back, just like Poch had with the two wing backs in each position. But you do that, and as we said, ENIC. People say we'll see what ENIC are like. I'm giving them 2 windows minimum. And you know what? You look at it, if they get those players in, but there's also talk now, not only Van der Ven, but Porro is in talks for a new contract. And if they both get put up in, let's say, Romero territory wages, then immediately they're showing, right, we're going to pay them what their market value. I mean, in fact, they should be on more compared to what other defenders are on in the league. But if they then go, Bentancur's signed a new contract, but that's been in the offing since last season, so I won't really go into that one. But if Van der Ven and Porro both sign shortly, and I think Van der Ven will before Christmas or New Year, then that's another step in the right direction they've done. All they can do is start showing that this time football comes first. And so far, every decision we've heard of, every announcement when they've released a statement, oh no, the only one they haven't that's not been non-football related is obviously the AIA partnership extension on the training gear, blah, blah, blah. But everything else has been football related, and they're gearing everything up in the right direction. You know, I saw a few weeks ago that shortly after Paratici came in, that Vinay, Paratici, Lange and Frank were having a meeting already to discuss January.
Right.
We've had it in previous windows where we've heard in January they're yet to meet.
Yeah, I mean,
we've had it in January.
That's what most
got to the Bahamas. Exactly. They're doing
the moment they guaranteed Paratici was back permanently, the moment that was settled and agreed and contract signed, after the press conference, the next day should have been right. Where are we at for January? What are we doing?
Yep.
What do we need to do in the next 8 to 10 to 12 weeks? What are we doing? Right, get on the phone to agents. What players do you want, Thomas? Who's available? Because I think there are a lot of people that think January transfer window starts on January the 1st, and that's just not the case. That's when you're allowed to make things public, right?
Yeah.
Right now, I would love to think that Paratici is, let's just use, just hypothetically, if Tony is your target, I would like to think that Paratici is making phone calls already and having those conversations with agent, club, intermediaries, and go, right, what's it going to take? How do we get this? By the way, right? Who are these two players?
I'm going to say Richarlison and Tony.
These are two fullbacks.
These are two fullbacks. Both play for us.
One plays for us, one doesn't. Guys and girls in the chat, who is this? Who's the pink? Who's the blue?
Oh, God. This is what have you done? It's a fullbacks. Okay, I'm going to assume the one that doesn't play for us is Anthony Robinson.
Yes.
So is the other one Destiny?
Yes.
There we go. There we go.
And look at Anthony Robinson in the pink. Just that's why, right? I said in the summer, for me, what I would have done is I would try heaven and earth to get a Robinson, and then I'd let Udogie grow into the team, right? And I know people go, oh, no, but I love Udogie. Look at what Anthony Robinson gives you as an all-rounder. Like,
I think we got to look at this as well. Sorry, Sav, go on.
No, go on.
Yeah, you just got to. Yeah, no, you just got to look at it. I don't think. I think it's more important that it is a. Listen, I want Anthony Robinson. You want Anthony Robinson. I know a lot of Spurs fans that want Anthony Robinson. I think what the most important thing we have seen is just how important having a naturally left-footed player at left back is. And if one of them can't play, if it is Destiny that can't play, there's a natural left-footer to come in to keep the flow of the team. Not to say, right, we're going to have to stop, start, whatever it may be. I put a tweet out and there's quite a few. I said, like, within reason, who could you get? And they were mentioning some players that were playing in France, in Germany, that people have seen. I think it's just it's imperative that we literally have to get another left-sided left back in. Oh, sorry, left-footed left back.
Do you know what? The other night, there were fans as usual getting annoyed and getting upset at me. And I said, the key thing, I like Destiny Udogie, but I like Destiny Udogie. I like 2/3 of Destiny Udogie, right? And what I mean, I don't mean like I like 2/3 of his body. I mean, like as a footballer, I like 2/3 of him. And then I think the last third is where he's going to have to massively improve under Thomas Frank and Cochrane and all those guys. And that is the one bit there you can see that is dreadful, which is his crossing, right? Yeah. And if you look there, right, look at the positions that Destiny Udogie gets himself into. Look at his ball carrying, right? It is superb. The difference is, and as I was always taught, the most important ball in football is the last ball, right? It's the most important pass is the last pass, right? He hasn't got it yet. Now, I'm not saying he can't get it, Brian. That is obviously a development point for him. Yep. Look at the difference if that was Anthony Robinson flying down your left wing, whose ball carrying is as good. But look at the difference in his crosses. Look at the difference, in his expected assists. Now imagine that. Right? Now imagine that was on the left side of our team. So this is why when people say to me, so-and-so's brilliant, so-and-so's good, this is what I mean by praising too early. Destiny Udogie, for me, has got all the attributes to be a top left back. Right? But now, for me, is the critical 2 years as to does he develop and hone that, or does he always just be a nearly man? Now, people think that's harsh, Brian, but this doesn't lie. You can see he's not good in the air. He doesn't have good crossing. He doesn't have any really expected assists, right? These are the things he's got to work on rather than just saying, look how good he is getting into those areas.
Yeah, I mean, I will say someone put in the chat, and it's right with this. Obviously, Anthony Robinson is a lot more injury-free and has had longer runs into some minutes played, obviously come into it. But Destiny, I think obviously again Frank and his coaching and his backroom staff, like with Van der Ven and his heading, and Thomas Frank was saying you need to score more goals and whatever he's doing, it's working tenfold. Sure. So now it comes to right Destiny. If you could stay fit, then we can start developing you. The main thing we can see is even when he came back against Brighton, against Leeds, he makes such a massive difference for the balance of the squad. And again, this isn't to say that Spence is crap, because he's not. But on the left, he just slows things down because of his lack of confidence in his left foot. I think for the balance of the team, and I will say, and I don't know what you thought about him on Wednesday, I think Odegaard is getting more. Every game, there's a little something more with him. And he looks better with Destiny. He's a lot more active with Destiny. Again, woeful with his final ball. But he was actually doing well with Simmons on Tuesday. Listen, we need better. We need better. But I think with Destiny, he's more of a threat.
Odegaard for me, I don't think he's a Tottenham player. I think he's neat. I think he's tidy. He's not my type of winger, Brian. Can't beat a man. I don't like wingers that can't beat a man. And the key thing for me is if you are going to play Odegaard and Udogie together, one of them has got to be getting crosses in. And at the moment, neither of them do. Now, listen, I'm going to wrap up the show in the next 5 minutes. Before we do, big up my man, Mikhail in Poland. Mikhail, so what I've done here is I've now added Udogie from last year and this year to show you that it's the same thing. And what I mean by that is from the crosses. Yeah, hang on, let me show you. So Udogie in blue is this season. Udogie in green is last season. Okay, so what you can see is there, the crossing and the expected assists, it's still non-existent, right? It is. And that's not me knocking him. What that means is Thomas Frank and his coaching staff are going to have to get that into him. So what I saw the other night, for example, we see this all the time with Udogie. He is superb driving with the ball, superb at finding space, superb at getting to that byline. And then every time what I see, right, is, right, whip it in. And he doesn't. He wants 4 touches instead of 1. He wants 5 touches instead of 2. And that's a bloke that isn't natural at, let me whip crosses in. Whereas when you watch Robinson, of course, he's older and more mature. You watch Robinson for Fulham, his natural game is, right, I've got to the byline, boom, done. That is the difference to me between these 2 years coming up for Destiny Udogie. And that is why I hope that as this season goes on and we put this up, that we start seeing his crosses go up. Because look at that crosses. Like, that's 2 years in a row, by the way. His crossing is next to nothing. Just next to nothing. But if he gets that sorted, now suddenly we're going from there's no output to you're one of the most dangerous left backs in Europe. So I'm not knocking him, but this isn't me knocking him. I think this is a tremendous opportunity for him to learn and grow.
Yep.
For me.
And I will say, after all this talk about his crossing, guaranteed nailed on assist tomorrow.
But that's
then every Friday, right? Every Friday you need to show that crossing stat. Every Friday before a game, you need to show the stat.
Against Copenhagen, the number of times I was like, oh my God, look, they found him in space and he doesn't pick the right ball or doesn't cross quick enough. Now, work on that. You've got a top footballer. Listen, I'm going to do some super chats and then I'm going to end the show. I've got a call in 2 minutes. First of all, big up to Emma out there on T side. Big up to you, Emma. Thank you very much. I really appreciate you. You're always very, very generous to me. Really appreciate you. Rain has become a new channel member. Big up, Rain. We've got a members only show in 2.5 hours. I will send the link to the members on YouTube. Any of you can come on and talk and join in. Big up to you, my man. Thank you very much. Big up to Andy Lester, who is one of my members. I know he'll join. Said all about the good vibes. Offered my dream job. Just got married and Spurs aren't a joke anymore. And I don't hate watching them. Frank is building. Congratulations on all 3 of these things, Andy. And I completely agree with you. Apart from the married bit. Yes, Spurs aren't a joke anymore. And I do like watching them. Big up to you, Andy. Love you, dude. Ryan Isaac. Big up to you, Ryan. Hope you're well. Said 7:30 kickoff is great. Anything?
Yeah, he's been over. He's been to Toronto to visit me, and he's been to a 7:30 kickoff with me. They are very good. If you win. But he came in the winter. I think it was about minus 15 or 16 when we made our way to the Scotland Yards. So yeah, lovely times.
And I'm going to rattle this off. I've got about 20 seconds. I've got a phone call in like 30 seconds. Big up Jordan. Very generous as always. Mate, love you to bits. Says Anthony Robinson is the definition of a no-brainer. I've watched him since 2024. It's a step up for Robinson. It gives Udogie. Listen, do you know what? I don't think it gives Udogie competition. I think it gives Udogie someone to learn off and go, this is what I need to be. Big up to you, my man. Very generous. Completely agree with you. And Rob Welsh said, nothing to say, just support him. Thank you very much. Listen, guys, let me see if I can quickly. I've got a call. Let me see if I can quickly send you over to anywhere. Let's see if anybody is live. There we go. Customization. Redirect. Who's live in the Spurs community?
I will say Tottenham on tour are live at 2 people. So if you want to at 2 o'clock and you got nothing to do, Tottenham on tour will be live.
I'll send you over to Never a Foul. Please, when you get there, just say Savva or FHTV Raid. Please go to Brian Daigle at 2. My members join me at 3. Much love. Take care. And as always, come on, you Spurs.